a similar price, like, 50, 60,000 listed on Veve, then, Opensea just might be easier access. So, but if they're 30,000, 20,000 on Veve and 70,000, then yeah, nobody's gonna buy that unless it's a low mint.
Right. Just wondering.
It's just so early. My vision of the metaverse is that in a few years, people are going to look back and want these season ones. They're going to want all of these, even season twos, even season threes, because we're going to be all the way down whatever season, and these are going to be like nostalgia. Like, oh my God, you have that? Wow, you were around from RIP. Wow, that's amazing. And the demand is going to go through the roof. And one thing recently that I kind of realized was a lot of comic book collectors, just talking about comic books, are not on the app. I went out and I called a few different. I made a video. I called a few different comic book stores, and the people who work at the comic book store, they don't know what Veve means. They've never heard of the word Veve before. So I'm like, and then the thing is, people are willing to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on these comic books on the physical, and these are on the blockchain. Once they're able to understand and make that connection, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm here in the metaverse. I can, have my virtual home, my virtual whatever it is, and I can have the same collection I have here at home for a fraction of the cost. It's numbered. It's on the blockchain. Yeah, hell yeah. I have a bunch of paper anyway. I have a huge collection. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And I think that when that happens, they're going to want all the comic books and all the actual digital collectibles, the statues. This is going to go bananas. It's going to go crazy. And that's just my speculation. Look, that's just me.
I agree, man. I was in a Twitter space yesterday or this morning, I forget. But there was a guy in there that he used to be either a comic store owner or manager or something, but he was saying how when Spawn came out, he got 300 Spawn. He got 300, what's that other comic called, man? I can't think of it right now. Savage Dragon. So he took risk on like some blue chips, but then he took risk on, lesser known ones and all that. And he was just saying how like now at this point, when the smoke cleared, he's sitting here with, a whole bunch of long boxes. He was like, bro, I got a whole room dedicated to comics and all this stuff. And he was like, man, when you try to take this stuff to shows or wherever, he was like, these long boxes are heavy. He was like, I'm not a young spring chicken like I used to be. And he was like, honestly, and I've made this point too, when it comes to things like Marvel Comics 1, Amazing Spider-Man #1, these are books that even if you get your hands on it, either it's going to be totally destroyed or it's going to be graded. You know what I'm saying? The odds of you finding a book where you could just read it intact is slim to none. There's a lot of people, they know Marvel 1 exists, but the ability to read it, nobody's had that till now. So I see how all of these Grail books and these 1960-something books, all of these, like at some point, they might really blow up to a level we're not even understanding yet. It may not be next year, I don't know when, but someone's going to come in and see all this stuff, or they might advertise. Who knows what's going to happen, but they're definitely undervalued, and they have a lot of room to grow.
Even in the card world, I see so many people that are talking about Marvel cards now that it's crazy. It's really crazy. So it is getting a lot bigger. But at the same token, those same card people don't know what Veve is. So we'll see. We will see. It's just time. You have to consider yourself very, very lucky that you found Veve and you found it at the time that you did. Right. I believe that in time that it will go somewhere else, a different level, another level. Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not,
think
maybe not to that level, but it will go to another level.
yeah, I think the people who got into Bitcoin early had
Yeah.
similar conversations that we're having now. But
Right.
our thing is just cool. Our thing is just cooler, and NFTs it's more diverse. It's going to reach a lot of more people, and it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot more mainstream, a lot more quicker. So, yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, I went and opened up the closet. You really can't see, but it's jam packed. I've got boxes of sport cards. I've got boxes of comic books, and anything that's graded. Obviously, I can't flip through it. I can't touch. I can't feel. So people want to say, oh, the physical. There's nothing like holding it, but man, you go get it graded. You're not holding it anymore. You're not reading through the comic book anymore.
That's right.
So
It's not the same as when you grade a card. A card is still a card.
Right.
You can flip it over. You can still see both sides. A little more cumbersome, but it's also protected. Same thing with the comic. But this is why some of these comics I honestly have, and it made me feel more like, wow, now I can really feel like I can put this comic away. Because certain comics I've had, like the Beta Ray Bill, the Thor, like that one I have, and I got it actually like a month before they even announced it. That's what's funny. I have the variant cover though, the one where it's sketched and signed. So I didn't even open that book and read it. And I want to know, Beta Ray Bill is one of my favorite characters. So when they dropped the book, I had that feeling like, oh wow, now I can actually read this. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, I wonder who else feels that, and I know there's not a lot of key books that we all grew up with released yet. Everybody wants this Amazing Spider-Man, 15, but reality is a lot of us haven't owned that or read that. We all know the cover, so that's what we're, chasing. But I think it's interesting, you know what I'm saying? And they have a lot of ways to go, man. Like there were certain series of books I used to collect that they haven't even scratched the surface with, like Punisher War Journal was, a crazy series. Marvel Universe itself, A through Z, those books are crazy. That's a whole thing. Then you have Marvel Universe Book of the Dead, A through Z, all the dudes that die every year, A through Z. So it's just endless stuff, man. It could be.
I know, and it's exciting.
Joe, those comics were iconic. G.I. Joe books have some iconic covers too. They haven't even tapped like, what about the DC? I feel like Marvel's in a situation. They probably signed a deal where they have exclusive comic rights for a minute on their app, and then like maybe after a year or so, DC will be able to do their thing because a lot of people are sleeping. We're missing a lot of detective comics. We're missing Superman. We're missing
action one, yeah.
So there's a question that came in on the chat. It's been a little bit now. Before I forget, the question is, if they were to invest in, hold on, let me scroll up. I already lost it again. Okay. What would be the best to invest in? Would it be in collectibles with Veve or ETH? They didn't mention Omi, but I'm going to add Omi to it.
So right now?
Yeah, right now.
Depends on the collectible, but I'm inclined to say specific Veve collectibles, and then my next will be Omi because it's got a lot of leg room to run, especially about to be listed on Ethereum. Then we got who knows what exchanges is going to come with that, and then whatever press or exposure that comes with that. I could see a run up similar to like Doge, but it won't be that high. But yeah, I think ETH is last because it's kind of already did its thing. ETH is like the Titanic. It's like a cruise ship. It's gonna move, but it's going slow. Omi is like a speedboat. Omi is gonna go quick because it's just that speedboat. It's gonna run. And then the collectibles, any given collectible could do crazy numbers depending on like if it's a Walt type thing or You know, if it's like Deadpool, then okay, you know, you want to put some in Omi probably. But if you're talking about a Walt or a Mickey, then you want to put it in the collectible. So it just depends.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
yes,
I agree.
I agree. I think the ROI is going to be in Omi. Like if I'm just comparing Omi and Ethereum, Ethereum had their run up. You know, like they. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to continue to go up, but looking at straight ROI, when you invest in Ethereum, you know, last I checked, it was close to 4,000. I know it's dipped down or what have you, but let's just say 4,000. And so, you know, for you to double your money, you know, we got to get 8,000, right? So for Omi,
Right.
you know, that thing hits $1, hits $2, $5, $10. Man, what happened to your investment?
5 cents at this point. If you put in $10,000 right now and it's 5 cents, you know, you don't even need no dollars.
You're talking about just some. I mean, the numbers are going to be. I mean, you're done with working, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I if I had to invest, you know, that's where in those two, that's where I would allocate the most of my funds.
Yeah,
you know,
because like you know, we were talking about people who bought you know Ethereum at $130 like a year ago, whatever you said. You know, we're gonna be those people gonna be talking about us like we talk about Ethereum people because we've been investing in Omi right now. You know, those Omi whales, you know, they can come in and we're in that same position, but we just gotta wait now. You know, it's our time to wait.
yeah.
So
John,
as far as Omi, how do you invest in Omi? Like, are you still as aggressive as you were, you know, when you first found out about it? Is it a thing where you're a reoccurring investor? Are you only putting in like dollar cost averaging? Are you just like, yo, it doesn't matter, just $50 here, you know? How do you invest?
That's a good question. I don't invest as often as I would like to. Bought some yesterday actually though. Wow, with that, that Ocomi article I seen on Coinbase or whatever. But
Yeah,
I got a solid bag where I'm just been investing in the collectibles, which I consider the same thing. If and when they introduce the sell your collectible to get Omi, that's why because the Omi, I mean the collectibles are moving up crazy right now, right? Almost all of them. So I want to stack enough decent collectibles where if that point comes where I want to sell it off and get some Omi, well, I can get more Omi because the collectibles have run up quicker.
Makes sense. What do you think about the fact that they have Omi set up on the app right now? Like whenever I see that, like my mouth starts watering. I start clicking on collectibles, wishing I could spend the Omi that I transferred on the app real quick, but I can't yet. So what do you feel about that? Do you see that going?
You talking about the Omi wallet, or is there something that's
on the actual app? Like when I hit profile or whatever, like I've transferred Omi to my direct app.
Oh yeah.
So it literally sits there like next to my gem balance. Like I see how much it's like not much, it's a couple thousand.
Right.
But
yeah, I got some in there too. Yep. I thought you meant something different. Yeah.
So when you see that now, it's kind of different. And then like I said, whenever you see something in that area, it's like gems that's meant to spend it. And I see Omi there now, and I'm like, I can't spend this. I don't want to spend it, but it just is interesting, it just making my mouth water a little.
Yeah, we could be able to stake that on me. I can't wait to stake it to get these rewards because I plan on holding it anyway. So you might as well stake it. So
exactly. That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm looking at it like, why am I not being rewarded for keeping this over here? So I guess soon come.
Yeah, always soon.
All in time.
When?
When soon.
George Omega in the chat says you can transfer Omi to gems using the desktop version. I know that Veve has, in the last AMA, they said that they're releasing their website soon. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to be. But George Omega, I mean, if that is the case, I mean that is going to make the value of Omi go up for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Right now, there's a learning curve to buy Omi. You know, it's not just go open up your app and buy it. Once it's that easy,
Right. It's over.
you're gonna
It's
see
over.
a jump.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm gonna buy some.
I mean, it has so much
You know,
utility.
that
It's
day.
disgusting. I mean, do you have an understanding of how when they're talking about burning collectibles, how that affects Omi exactly?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, like I know. Well, you talking about you said burning collectibles?
Right. Because there are people who are talking about in the future, you know, oh, I'm going to stack a bunch of cheap comics now for $10 and burn them in the future. And then that
Oh,
would add, you know, value to my high mints that I keep or whatever they're saying. I don't really understand.
I mean, if Omi did burn when you burned a collectible, I would assume it would be with the associated dollar amount. Other than that, I'm not familiar how much Omi would be
Right.
burned
Yes.
with a
That
collectible.
sounds right. Right. So what does burning in general, how does that affect a token like Omi? From your
Um,
understanding?
well, I mean, Omi is deflationary, so every transaction that happens on VV, it burns the equivalent amount of Omi every time there's a purchase. Like, let's say there's a $30 purchase, well, $30 worth of Omi at that time is burned. It's taken out of the reserve wallet, I think, and it's burned forever. So, you know, it just depends on the price of Omi at the time. Like, a $30 purchase might be like 10,000 Omi. So 10,000 Omi is gone after that purchase is made. And that's basically how it works. Every time there's a purchase or a transaction, yeah.
Okay. That was a
Yeah.
good question. I wasn't sure exactly how because I've always heard about that. You know,
Yep.
chat. If you have any questions for the Gale, please throw them in the chat, and also give him a follow if you're not already following him. For whatever reason, you know, you got to go ahead, and he's an OG VV, so you're gonna have to dip out, drop him a follow, and come back. I mean, it's so exciting. The fact that, you know, Dokta Strange, he put me onto this whole marketplace. He gifted me Marvel issue 1, you know,
Ooh, that's a nice gift.
and so it was like, you know, I owe him all of this, man. It's crazy. And I'm so happy because the thing is, when he first approached me, my response was, what you're going to get from most collectibles. Nah, why am I going to want that digital thing? I don't want it on my phone. I want to hold it, you know? You know, I got a Jackie Robinson, by the way, physical Jackie Robinson card right here, you know?
Yeah, where's the
card of the day?
collectible of the night, bro? Where's the card of the night?
Yo, I forgot. I forgot. This is the card of the night. It's a Jackie Robinson right here, 1954 original Jackie Robinson card. It's one of my favorite cards right here, man.
Beautiful card.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. So yeah, man. So it's just I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I have my physical, I have my cards, my comics. You bugging. What I'm talking about, something on my phone. And then he you know, he let me sit. He let me simmer on that. And then he hit me back, you know, and he's like, look, man, you need to just think about this. Do a little bit of research. Dive into this. And I'm like, all right. Let me see what this cat is talking about, man. What is this?
Yeah.
And so once I started doing my research and looking at what is in store, where we're heading, I was like, it's a wrap. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking about selling a few of my physicals to fund my my Veve collection.
Might not be a bad idea, I'll tell you that. Depending on
because I don't agree. I mean, I do agree with that, because I think that, like, let's just say whatever card here. Look, I got an X-Force Deadpool card, right? Yeah. This card, you know, let's just say it's a $50 card. In 1 year, what is this card going to be, right? I don't know. If there's a movie out or something, it'll pump some. But if I go and I take this $50 right? I sell this. I take this $50 and I go and I'm successful on a drop. Or I go in right now and I buy a few comics or whatever in 1 year. Where are we at with that $50? I think that my ROI is gonna be better on Veve than here.
Yep.
Just like
that. That actually, what's crazy is that actually ties into my next question. Kind of is I wanted to get the Gale's thoughts on. I know you do have a little knowledge about collectibles and stuff. So, in the collectible world, a lot of people like to bank on, let's say, like with comics, a Spider-Man comic. A lot of people are banking on a movie coming out. Let's say, even Venom. Someone owns Venom #1, Lethal Protector 9.8. They're like, yo, when the Venom movie comes out, I'm going to sell this and make bread. And a lot of the times it does not happen because so many people are banking on that they all sell at the same time. And it's just oversaturated anyway.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the main catalysts are going to be for Veve? Because obviously it has nothing to do with the outside world to a sense, because if so, Spider-Man's would be even more than they've been climbing up to be, you know what I mean, before this movie came out.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think that this is catalyst driven by the outside world, or like we, the people that are on the app, are we just determining the fates of these things ourselves, or what's going on? What do you think?
You mean in terms of the price going up?
Yeah.
It's definitely us right now. Like you can tell with the common gang right now, like commons are overtaking the uncommons just because of it's majority rule. Just like in life, it's always going to be majority rule. Like, we determine the president with majority rule. We're supposed to, at least. You know, so like even airdrops, like with the Ron English, like that could be a catalyst. Like if Veve promises, an airdrop for a certain collectible, that's going to make it run up. It's all speculation. Or like with the Spider-Man movie, you would have thought that Spider-Man would have ran up, but if people aren't thinking about it, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's really us who decides the market. So yeah.
That's what I right. Cool.
So we got a question that came in on the chat, and Daniel, I'm not sure exactly. There's a question before that.
Yeah, I like that. The question before it is good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your mindset when it comes to stacking NFTs?
Talking to me?
Yes.
I made a video on that recently. I like stacking NFTs. Especially it really depends on which ones. You got to really. So I like stacking undervalued NFTs, or I like stacking NFTs before. I'll give you an example. So for the hoverboards, right? The no-tech hoverboards, I was stacking those at 13 gems. So I got like 23 of them right now. And I was stacking those when nobody was thinking about them. And my thought process was, these hoverboards are probably going to be rideable